For much more on the stack system, let's bring in the man behind it, Dr. Sasho Mackenzie, who joins us again here on GTC. Sasho, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, my man. It is great to see you. And Mark spoke with you on the show a couple of years ago all about the stack system, and he has done it. He has spoken glowingly about it. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting started on it very soon. But for those who don't know what the stack system is, tell our audience what the stack system is all about.
The stack system is the easiest way to gain club head speed, or for folks that are, around my age, the easiest way to get some speed back. It's a piece of hardware, comes with 5 weights that you can interchange on the end. So we have 30 weight combinations, and it pairs with an app that acts like a personal trainer. So, we guide you through the programs. We provide customized programming based on a baseline session. We've really gamified speed training. It's fun, it's addictive. We track your records, we cheer when you're performing well. We have a grit score parameter to make sure you're sticking to your workouts. Yeah, and we have now 60,000 users. Average speed gains are just over 10 miles an hour, and I like to track our top 5,000 stackers, and the average speed gains for those folks is 15 miles per hour. And of those 5,000, about 800 are over the age of 60. So, yeah, we've got, we're beyond theory now. We know that it works, and we've not just amateurs, we've got lots of tour players who have gained speed as well.
Wow, okay, there's so much to unpack from that. But for me, when I hear the average and 10 miles per hour faster,
Yeah.
like that is bonkers. What is that, like 30 yards on average, I guess, sort of
Yeah,
on a yard?
about 27, 25, 27, depending on the exact conditions. Yeah, yeah, it's really meaningful. Yeah.
Wow. So okay. So I'm totally mind blown. Clearly, but when you say 10 miles per hour and 27 to 30 yards, how fast does this actually happen? Like how disciplined would someone going into this program have to be to see distance gains like this?
Yeah, that's the most important thing is it is a training program. So you need to be doing it a couple times a week, but we've made it as painless as possible, and we spend no time doing fluff stuff that's really not going to help you get faster. So if you can devote 45 minutes a week to speed training using the stack, then you'll see some gains. The first program is about 6 weeks long, 18 sessions, and the gains there will be somewhere between 5 and 7 miles per hour. And then usually people then add another 2 or 3 on the second program. We've got some folks that post the results and they get really fast, but so within a year, less than a year, those folks would be seeing 10 miles per hour gain. So if you started in the off season, like January, then by the fall, it's reasonable to expect that 10 mile per hour gain.
That's so interesting. And speed training, it's such a fascinating thing because on our show, we joke all the time about some of my workout habits. Like I was someone, I played hockey for many years of my life where I was a big squat, deadlift. I still do a lot of chin-ups, but these workouts, I would presume, Sasho, that they're just specifically designed for speed. So are we talking just a lot of different variations of swinging the golf club, or are we adding things like plyometrics or body weight training while we do this too?
No, it's just swinging the stack, which is a piece of hardware. It's hybrid length, and you can change the weights on the end. So, across many different sports, the concept of overload and overspeed training has been put to good use, and it's very clear. I come from a track and field background, um, and it's very clear in sprinting that if you run in slight declines, you get an overspeed effect. Slight inclines, you get an overload effect. The Jamaicans are very famous for that. And then now we've got more advanced machines where you'll see sprinters where they pull a cord out of a box. So either there's a little bit of resistance that provides overload, or they'll flip it around and have the cord kind of pull them while they're running. But throwing, baseball, There's jumping where you jump with weight in your back or jump with a assisted load that's helping you jump faster. So with the stack, it is just golf swings, just regular swings, the same way you would swing your club. We don't do any swings from the knees, no non-dominant side swings. And we basically have you swing things that are slightly lighter than your driver and things that are slightly heavier than your driver. And we fine tune those because we have 30 weight options. We choose a specific weight based on to make sure we get the stimulus that you need for your swing. So, I just did a program with my 14-year-old son. We did the same program. There was the foundation, but we had very different workouts because we require different stimulus to get faster.
Wow. I mean, this all sounds so cool. Whether you're a weekend warrior or you're someone, let's call it you're a 20 handicap, let's say you're a 10 handicap, or you're like yours truly here, who right now, as we record, Sasho, I'm a 2.4 index. And where I'm really curious when I get to try this is how, as Mark Zecchino says, my home run swing is sort of my every swing where I'm sort of
Yeah,
out of my shoes. My club
sure.
head speed can get up to 118, 120, and my ball speed's generally around 175. But am I right in saying this, that let's say I go on the program for the entire duration, my home run speed will go through the roof now, but my more controlled speed will be faster. Am I right with that?
Yeah, that's our philosophy. So we actually want you swinging with less effort on the course, but swinging faster. So, let's say, just to make the math a little bit easier, let's say that your home run, the fastest you could swing right now is 100 miles per hour, and you play in the course at 90. Okay. So you're playing at 90%. And you use the stack system. Well, my goal would to be to take you from swinging at 100 max to 110. So we increase your ceiling, but then let's have you play at 95. So your on course speed is increased by 5 miles per hour, right? So you're hitting the ball further, but now you're under more control because it's a lower percentage of your max. So for someone like you, and we've got lots of folks that jump in, that are already fast. I'd like to get you up to probably 130 and have you play at like low 120s. That's if you look at some of the longest guys on tour, even people think, oh, Bryson's swinging out of his shoes. If you watch the driving performance he put on at the PGA Championship, he had lots of club head speeds in the upper 120s, maybe touching 130, but he can swing at 145. So do you know what I mean? So even though it
Exactly.
looks he's well within his capabilities, he's not out there in the course swinging at 140, right? He's at
Yeah.
130. He's got a lot of room to give. So, that's kind of the direction I could see you moving in.
That's so interesting because I would think for me, like my absolute max as of, I think the highest I've ever been measured in terms of club head speed would be about 123, and that's like going out of my shoes. But on average, I'm not far off from that. I just sort of grip it and rip it and hope to find it
Yeah.
at some point. That's sort of my tagline. So this is all just very exciting, and I can't wait to give this a try. But I was first really introduced to Stack, and I'm sure a lot of people were as well, when they saw what Matt Fitzpatrick did back in
Yeah.
2022. What was it like for you to see his whole journey and how he rebuilt his golf game to becoming a major champion?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was a lot of when his coach reached out to me at the time, Mike Walker, and said, "Hey, look, we need some help getting Matt faster." They had just finished playing in the fall Masters. Remember when DJ won? It was kind of cold and kind of wet, and it was like, "Hey, on number 11 at Augusta, DJ has a 9 iron in, and we're playing hybrid in." Well, you can't make up for that in other parts of your game. So he was swinging about 112 at the time. And the stack was able to take him from a tournament average of 112 to a tournament average of 121. Yeah, average driver speed. That was at the Tour Championship. So he continued to increase his club head speed throughout the 2022 season, won the U.S. Open in there. Yeah, so that's not like, what if I swing once? What's the fastest I can swing? This is with driver in the
In a
FedEx Cup
tournament.
playoffs in a tournament. We average all those swings. We're at 121 and just over 180 ball speed, and back a couple of months before that, he was the only person on Sunday at the U.S. Open to drive the par four. 181 ball speed, cold, had a sweater on, a bit of wind. So that's like the ultimate test. It's not like an overnight flash in the pan where, oh, I can make one swing at that. Like you own your club head speed when you can pull it out on Sunday at the U.S. Open. It was very nice of him to give myself and the Stack credit, but it really did change the way he was able to approach golf courses. And he's still searching for a bit of form. He had a pretty good show at the PGA Championship, but our philosophy is you never want to lose that speed potential. So if he's not quite feeling his swing, and this goes for all tour players when I work with them, this is my philosophy, it doesn't mean you stop speed training and slow things down, because all golfers can relate to this, is that, oh, hey, you get into a groove and you feel like, oh, I'm hitting every fairway. Well, wouldn't it be nice to be able to tap into that potential to swing at 123? So if you're like, oh, baby, I'm not finding fairways, I'm going to stop speed training, start to slow down, and you're like, all right, swing's clicking. Let's go and try to win a major, but you don't have that reserve. So, at the PGA Championship on Sunday, hole number 2, he had the longest drive. He had 184 ball speed and launched it over the trees. So, that potential is still there, right? Because he's put in a ton of speed training in the off season, and hopefully, at the U.S. Open at Oakmont, he's able to tap into that. If his swing's feeling good, he has that speed in reserve.
He's just been so much fun to watch, and some of the videos of him swinging, it's just so cool. And everything about the Stack sounds so amazing. And the Stack is also expanded here. It's not just full swings, right, Sasha? We have Stack Wedging and Stack Putting. Tell us a little about Stack Wedging and how it works.
Yeah, so stack wedging, we have our own radar that came out because you need a radar to do the speed training. So to kind of hedge our bets on making sure it could be that our supplier for radars from third party were like, oh, we don't have any radars left. Well, shoot, what are we going to do for speed training? How are we going to provide our customers the radar? So we needed a radar. The Stack radar is awesome. It pairs with the app, so there's a Bluetooth connection. And we thought, how can we enhance, this radar, so folks can get more out of it? They buy it for speed training. What else can we do? And we realized that it's very, very good at measuring ball speed. So we're within, half a mile per hour TrackMan with ball speed. We round it on the display, but we're really tight. So we did some research last summer looking at how we could leverage that. And so with Stack Wedging, we need to know the club you're using. So we've got this really cool interface in the app where we run you through a baseline, so we get your wedge distances, full swing wedge distances, and then we can recommend a certain club to a target in a combine. And we track your score using a strokes gained approach. So it's like these really fun gamified combines. We also have a premiere mode in there where we adjust the difficulty level to match the ability of the golfer. So it's kind of it's a motor learning principle where if you're trying to get as increase your performance as fast as you can, then the tasks you're practicing with should be at a certain level of difficulty. If they're too difficult, you'll never get better. Like if you take a beginning golfer who's never played golf and you drop their ball in deep rough and step on it, that is way too easy. If you take a tour player and you say, hey, let's work on your pitching and chipping, and you put it on a tee, well, you're at the opposite end of the continuum. So what we do is we adjust the difficulty level of the combine so that you're always getting just the right level of practice. And with the strokes gain based scoring system, are you familiar with strokes gained, Adam?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it
Absolutely.
really tells you how good the shot was, right? But the problem is that it's in decimals, So, hey, how many strokes did you gain that shot? Oh, I gained 0.14. Wow, great shot, But it's like, what does that
What does
mean?
that really
And if
mean?
someone,
Yeah.
right, and if someone said, oh, I gained 0.2, well, that's even better. But they're like, they're both small numbers. So we've converted into points like a video game. So I have this little equation. Basically, it's take the strokes gained, add 2, multiply by 100. So a good shot for a tour player would be 0 strokes gained. So that converts to about 200 points in stack wedging. So it's, that's kind of the reference point when you're doing these wedge combines. But it's an amazing way to work on your distance control. And we've seen the wedge mode has really caught fire. We have more people hitting wedge shots now, and speed trading's still increasing. So we're still getting
Yes.
more and more users. We're at 60,000 users, but right now we've got more people on a daily basis taking wedge swings than speed trading swings because it's just exploded.
Wow, so that
You
is
know?
that's fascinating to me, but it all makes sense to score because you can hit the ball as far as you want, right? But if you can't score at the wedges, what's the point of hitting it that far, Sasha, right? So that's brilliant.
Yeah, and there's been some positive spin-off effects that wasn't I didn't consider. Like so you think well, distance wedging, maybe it's only such a small facet of my game. Yeah, great if I maximize that, maybe it doesn't influence the overall score. But what lots of users are telling us is that really it's a way to practice that is easy on the body. So because you're taking these half wedge shots, but people are dialing in their low point control, their face to path variability. So, there's some added benefits that then extend to other parts of your game by hitting these more controlled shots, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. And so we've got the stack, we've got stack wedging, and then there's stack putting. How does stack putting work?
Yeah, stack putting. Again, it comes free in the app. It's part of the package of the whole stack system. We we basically we see Marty and I would see a lot of people on the putting green not maximizing the use of their time, right? Or they just don't know how to practice. So we've got these really cool 15-minute sessions where we tell you the 18 holes that you're going to putt to, right? So there's 18 holes. And you just need a green that you can hit a 30-foot putt and it's got some slope. So you'll open up the app, go, let's start a session. It'll say, hey, hole one, 10 feet downhill, right to left. So you walk around the practice green, find a putt that's 10 feet downhill, right to left. And there's usually a couple of different holes you could choose from if the green's busy. Drop your ball down, hit the putt. And I like to do it with my ear pods in,
Mm.
so I don't have to interact with the phone. Just keep the phone in the pocket. But then you just tell the app after you hit the putt, hey, did you misread the speed or line? And what happened? Did it go in? Did you miss fast left? Did you miss just straight left? Slow right? You tell the app, and then it'll move you on to the next hole. Hole two, 7 feet uphill, straight. And we give tons of really helpful insights. So we can tell if you have a systematic miss. So after the end of the session, it'll be like, hey, which is your miss bias, left or right? You tend to hit them too fast or too slow. Yeah, it's really the most effective way to practice, but also we have some pretty cool insights too from the practice session. And we've got a ton of uptick from tour players using it. They're some of our heaviest users, especially mini tour players, Corn Ferry Tour players. Yeah.
Wow, there's so much really cool information with Stack, and you've put a lot of research and a lot of great thought into all this. My final question for you, Sasho, is someone watching this, someone listening to this saying, "Hey, this is for me." How do they find more information?
Yeah, stacksystem.com online. We've got tons of great content. You can sign up. I do like a Science of Speed newsletter that you can email series you can sign up for on the site. Yeah, and you can follow me on X, Sasho Mackenzie. That's where I usually send all my updates on golf science stuff and stack related.
Well, it's always so cool to learn much more about the game. And as the game continues to evolve and to change, and I think over the last 20 minutes or so, Sasho, I've certainly learned a lot. So really appreciate your time today. Looking forward to getting started on the
Yeah,
stack system and updating our audience as to where I go. And let's connect again in the fall and see where my speed has gone. Sasho, thanks for your time today.
thanks, Adam.